spruce grasses. That's the same family I've been watching all summer. I don't think the spruce grouse mate right now, so I'm not sure what the male's doing. All four of them. All four of the females. It's hunting season on grouse. There goes one of the neighbors. See all the grouse in my yard, sometimes he'll stop. It's like a yard full of chickens. Spruce grouse. I'm gonna go hunting for regular grouse, but don't want to bother these guys right now. Just getting up in the cabin. It's like 6 in the morning. All four of them are right here at the road. They kind of went into the bush here because they got scared of me, but they just realized it's me. And now they kind of calmed down. What are you guys doing? I see the male hanging out on the branch there. Hey, it's okay. I'm not gonna attack you. Why are you guys being such wusses? I see you guys every day. The male is hiding on the branch there. Getting all freaked out. Well, I gotta put some clothes on, then I'm heading out in the woods. Oh, these crows making all kinds of noise. I wonder if the crows attacked these spruces because they all just ran and hid as soon as the crow came over here. But you see this? See that? That mud? That is from the moose stepping over. I see some tracks of his too from last night. I heard him last night and I came out to check to see if it was him, and I used a flashlight but I didn't see anything. But this is definitely mud from the bottom of his stomach touching this thing. Look at all of it juicing out. So I don't know, it rained for a little while last night, so it must have been raining when he went through. Crazy moose action, heavy morning. Yeah, if this is a rough grouse, you would never be able to get this close. Still some leaves on the trees, but they're falling. Falling quick. It's not cold though. So we got like 4 days of frost, and that triggered all the trees to start turning. But now we've had about 4 days of 80 degrees, and it's September 28th today. It's usually not 80 degrees right now. So definitely got some climate change going on up in here. And I'm sick of the heat. I guess I should just enjoy the last couple days while it's warm. But man, I'm sick of it. The cabin's warm and it's just so warm. I'm sick of sweating my balls off when I'm walking in the woods. I've been looking forward to these fall temperatures, but they're not coming. So next couple weeks it should cool down. But usually by the time the leaves are falling, it's usually cool. You know, it might get up to like 70, 75 during the day, but pretty much it never gets up to 80 at this time of the year. So yeah, I'm heading out into the woods though, hunt some grouse. Only gonna take one if it's a huge one. So we'll see what we can find. Nice, it's raining. It's raining pretty good. Haven't had any rain. We've had like one rain in the last 2 months and it was like not even this good. Like a light sprinkle a couple nights ago, but my rain barrels have been completely empty. and I don't even have any clean water. I went down to the well today too to see if I could get a bucket of clean water for showering, and it didn't even have enough water I could collect it out of there. It was right at the top of the stones. So I'm glad it's raining. I have water catch systems on the shed and on the cabin, so I should get enough rain. I shouldn't need to put anything else out. Actually, I guess we'll flip that over. Get a little extra rain. Extra rain to that. Yeah, there you go. Need to collect as much of this as I can. Been really rough with the water situation lately. Well, the leaves are falling fast. You couldn't even see through these trees a couple days ago. Gray skies today. Oh man, shaky. Trees are thinning out quick. Gray skies. Out here taking a walk, going to fix a piece of fencing that the moose broke. And oh yeah, I'm gonna check on water. We got rain yesterday, so the cleanest stuff should be on the shed because there's no leaves falling on the shed. The trees, there's only one tree and it's not that close to it. Down at the cabin, all the gutters are full of leaves, so all the water's really brown. So I'm gonna take water from up here and we're gonna start the stove in the canvas tent because it's still too warm in the cabin. And we're gonna get hot water going so we can take a shower tonight. It's been 4 or 5 days. Got to keep on those showers, but I haven't had enough water. Last night we finally got enough water I could take a damn shower. I'm gonna go fix this fence though. I still can't believe this moose dug this huge hole here. I think it's like part of his rutting patterns, but this isn't even a big one. There's another hole on another part of the property that I have a trail, and right in the middle of the trail he's dug a hole that's like 3 times the size of that. So I gotta get a shovel and some dirt so I can fill these in and twist my ankle on that otherwise. Leaves are falling. It's a beautiful part of the property over here. This is where my line meets the neighbor's line. My line's like basically right at the trees there. I got this little chain going across the road here. Let hunters know that they're coming up on my camp. And the moose has already broken it a couple times, but I'll just zip tie it together. And he'll usually step over it, but if the moose is being chased or if he got scared and he's running, then he'll just run right through it and break it. It's plastic, so it doesn't really hurt him, it just breaks. So I just fix it, put it back up. These plastic ones are good because if he runs into a real chain, he might get injured. Poor little moosel. These mooses though, there's a lot of them, because I've seen 2 separate males. I saw a real old one. I saw a real old one this year that was like gray and like looked old. It was old moose. Had to been like 12 years old, or like the oldest moose I've ever seen. And then I saw a really young big bull not too long ago. And then I've seen 2 females too. And the females, I see tracks all over the place. I think the females usually work this piece of land in the marsh next to me, or the wetland next to me, and the males just come in at this time of year to deal with them. But yeah, I'm gonna zip tie this together. It's lightly raining, so I'm getting this fire all going. If I spent another day digging, I probably could have gotten that loose to the point where I could hit it out with a mallet, but that's just too much effort, and afterwards I'm gonna have to burn it anyways, and none of the fire pits are even big enough to burn a stump that big. So I'm gonna grab some debris that's been sitting in the woods all summer from some trees we cut this spring, and just make it around it and start the fire over here and let it burn, and we'll slowly let it get going, and then once it's going all the way around, we'll keep on adding wood on the entire thing right on top, and it should hopefully burn that stump down. We need to burn it all the way down to the bottom of that part of the root ball, and then it will be below the ground level, and we shouldn't have to worry about growing up or anything once we burn it down that low. So I don't know, I'm gonna get this ready. We'll see. If it starts raining, then I'll definitely light it, but if it doesn't start raining, it's kind of windy. It rained already today and everything's wet, so it's probably not a dangerous time to have a fire, but we are getting through a drought, so I don't know. I might wait for the rain to start. It's gonna rain tonight and tomorrow. I think it's gonna rain all day tomorrow actually, so I should be able to get this done the next 2 days. So that's what I'm working on, and I still got to go start the fire in the canvas tent for a shower. Got all the water together, I just haven't started the fire yet. Man, the wind is cranking today. Wind is cranking this morning. I still have the canvas tent set up, so I got to go put some boots on and go back there. It's on the back part of my property. I gotta see how bad it's getting thrashed right now. But if it's getting really bad, I might have to take it down and just cover the platform. And then if people come up, they'll just have to help me set the tent back up. I was trying to keep it up until this winter, until the end of December, so I could have company stay in it. But I'm probably gonna have to put it in the bin. And if people come up, they're just gonna have to help me set it back up. All the beautiful leaves on the tree got blown off in one day. Look at that. Everything is gone. But that means we can start cutting firewood. Well, it's still standing. The wind is going crazy right now. I saw a male grouse in the driveway coming up here. It's like he didn't even know it was hunting season. It's because this is the grouse that lives by the cabin. He's really used to seeing me now, and he knows that I'm not going to attack him. But he also doesn't know that it's hunting season now, I guess. I'm getting really good at identifying them. It's too windy, I guess, to talk to you right now. Man, it's crazy out here. Look at that canvas tent. That's not good. I'll have to take this thing down tomorrow. It's gonna be too crazy out here this fall for this thing to be up the whole time. It'll just ruin it. All the corners will be worn. That's some trash I gotta pick up. Oh, it looks a lot darker on here. It's actually not quite that dark. The moon is coming up over there. There's a woodcock right here. And there's a rabbit right here. That sound is a woodcock. And they're both in season right now. It's like my property is like the sanctuary for them now that I have it posted. Oh, there's 2 more woodcocks just flew in. Man, there's so many woodcocks out here. But that little bunny is awesome. You see it? Barely. Right there. Too dark. Calling it a night. Just ate dinner. A lot of animals. I hear the shotguns going off. Some people are hunting on the river today for probably ducks, I'd imagine. It might be geese too. Canadian geese are moving. They hardly ever go over the property. But the ducks do sometimes. Oh man, I can hear the mice in my car. I gotta get this little bastard. Alright, I almost forgot to bring you guys out. Still really wet from the rain last night and yesterday. So we got this fire going. I spend the whole day burning out this stump, and I also have to take down the last of the greenhouse. One greenhouse is already packed up and in the box in the shed. But I gotta go put the other one away because the wind was really beating it up yesterday. And then I got to make a decision on if I'm taking the canvas tent down. It did survive that crazy wind yesterday, and doesn't look like the tent really took a beating. The fly has been taking a beating, but that thing's 5 years old, so I do need to replace it before next spring. So I'm not too worried about that. So I'll probably just keep it up. As long as the canvas isn't having a problem, I'll probably just keep it up until the end of November. That way if people come up to hunt or hang out, I have a place to put them. That's what the canvas tent's for. I just don't want it to get ruined. I'm not gonna have $1,000 at the beginning of spring to replace the whole tent. So the fly is like 150 by itself, so I'm gonna have to do that already. I don't wanna have to replace the whole canvas. This fire's getting going. It's already freaking ripping hot. Can't even get near that thing. And it's gonna get a lot worse because that whole pit is gonna have to be filled up with coals, and a pit that big is going to be very, very hot. Everything's wet. I got plenty of water in the bins so I can keep water over here, and I'm gonna go get a couple of bottles with some holes in the top so I have some squirters. So the squirters help kind of keep the fire under control. So if it's getting too crazy, or if the wind picks up and it's blowing towards the cabin, then I'll put the fire down a little, because I don't want any ambers on the cabin. We don't want that thing going up right before winter starts. That would be a disaster. So this fire is kind of close to the cabin. I usually wouldn't have a fire this big that close to the cabin, so we gotta just keep an eye on that. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. Nice fall day. Almost all the trees, that wind yesterday just ripped all the leaves off of these trees. That poplar though, man, that thing still has green leaves on it. It's crazy. And the maple behind it still has some green leaves on it, because that poplar is like guarding it from the cold at night. It's pretty crazy. Everything else has pretty much lost majority of its leaves, which means we're gonna be cutting green firewood again this week. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of the stump lighting up. That's what we're all about right now. Burn that stump down. All right, the wind has picked up a little, but it's not blowing towards the cabin. I don't know how bad it looks, but I just leaned down towards the fire and got too close, and it singed my eyebrows and eyelash. So that was a little too close probably. I guess I'll have to watch this video to see how bad it is. I can feel my eyelashes are half the length that they usually are though. So that sucks. Probably looks ridiculous. Yeah, I can feel some of this eyebrows gone too. Son of a bitch. God damn it. I guess I gotta see how bad that is. Well, there's a big pit of hell. Look at that thing. But we're getting close. A lot of that stump is starting to ash up. Yeah, we're getting close. The guy who bought my property in Brownfield is at the property right now. He keeps on texting me. He just texted me. He found one of the boxes that had the screen house in it, but he's I think he's getting ready to dig up some of the stuff I buried out there. There's a cool knife out there. There's a bunch of cool stuff out there. But yeah, this fire is coming along. I'm probably gonna try to call him right now though. Try to see if I can get him. I at least want to get him so he can dig up that knife and fire starting stuff that I have out there. It's been buried for 5 years. I want to know what condition that knife is in. It's in one of those PVC pieces of pipe with end caps on it, all sealed up, so should be fine, but I don't know. Sometimes those things get water in them, so the knife might be ruined. It's a brand new Air Force survival knife, $4.99. The ones that they used to issue back in the day to the Air Force, made by Ontario. A cool knife. But I'm gonna give him a call. Should be done burning this out in another like hour. Okay, there we go. The pit of hell is calming down. That's pretty much all the material I have close by. I even cleared out a bunch of stuff we had piled over there. There's still some stuff in there, but the vines are all in it and it was becoming harder and harder to pull it out. So I might have to cut some of that stuff back and the vines back and get them out of there, but it's kind of cool because the vines grow up really awesome there during the summer because I put all that debris there. So I don't know, I might not mess with it. But I'm just gonna let this burn down and let the wind do its thing, and hopefully the wind will turn more of that high area into ash and just slowly burn it out. And then I'll hit it with a sledgehammer a bunch of times and like let a lot of the dust come off of it and see what breaks off. And if it's still too high above ground level, then I'll take the pitchfork and try to get all the dirt from around the root system, clear it away, and like hit it with a sledgehammer a couple times and shake all that stuff away from it, and then we'll build another fire. I'll move some of this dirt too so the pit is smaller and just around the high spot, and then we'll do another fire, which we're probably gonna have to do. I just don't have any material around here, and I figured I'd let it ash out and cool down, and I gotta go take down that greenhouse and put it in a box for the season. It's about 2 in the afternoon, so that was fun, and it's nice and warm. This thing had me sweating bullets for a little while there, and I did burn my eyelashes. Both of my eyelashes are singed, but this one's singed like 3/4 of the way down. And I either burnt myself or scratched my eye, but like right here, I think I whipped myself with a stick or something. Man, it hurts, it's all red. Yeah, I burned a little bit of my eyebrow too, but thank God I didn't take my whole eyebrow off. It was mostly just my eyelashes. That flame just came towards me real quick and it licked my eyelashes right off. Yeah, I mean, eyelashes are important, but not that important, especially winter's coming. You know, eyelashes aren't as important in the winter. All right, I guess I gotta go and take that greenhouse down, and then after that, get something to eat for the day. So we'll let this thing ash out, and we'll come back tonight and see what it looked like before we put some water on it and put it out for the night. Greenhouse de-skinned and all put away in the shed. Don't have to worry about the wind and all that stuff, which is awesome. Shed looking awesome. I stained it not too long ago, or put a clear coat on it. Looks so rich and nice. And then it's just that canvas tent now, and I figure out what the plan is for that. I'm just gonna keep it up a little bit longer, but the top of the smokestack keeps on blowing off, which means water is getting in the stove, so I gotta go put that back on. And I should probably check the stove to see how much water got in it last time it rained, because it could have a shitload of water in it, I guess, which will rust it all out in the bottom. And that's a brand new stove, so I guess I gotta go deal with that. Alright, nice. No water in there. The cover did blow off of that for a little while when it rained the other day. I should probably look over that. That's the wood chipper. I should probably start using that actually now that the leaves are gone. There's some trees I should start chipping. But yeah, there's no water in the stove, which is good. It's about 1 million houseflies in that tent right now. They're really bad at this time of year. I can keep them out of the house usually, but that tent just fills full of them. And then after the houseflies, there's like a week of ladybugs. So the houseflies are the second to last bug run, and then the ladybugs come, and like that whole tent will be full of ladybugs in like a week. It's crazy. Well, still is quite a bit of stump there. Pretty solid. Hit it with a sledgehammer a couple times. It didn't move that much. So I'm gonna have to dig it out a little bit more, dig a little more dirt underneath and kind of make a lip underneath it, and then we're gonna probably have to burn this out one more time. I've got a couple trees, the debris from a couple trees out back. I'll have to haul that over here. Not tonight. There's one right there. They're all around too. There's another one in the bush right there, and there's another one over here. It's woodcock season, but I don't hunt these things. I think we're just about at hunting time anyways. But that one's actually really big. That's the biggest woodcock I've ever seen. So I guess they do get pretty big at this time of year. But I usually don't hunt them, but maybe if there's a really big one, maybe I'll shoot one this year and try it, see what it tastes like. But there's so many of them. They just fly all around me. And they're not that scared of me, at least at this time of night they're not. Maybe they know legal hunting hours are just about done. But I don't know, they have a long beak. I don't know what they're looking for, but every night they're in the yard looking for it. And they make these little quack sounds, and they're really cool. I mean, it's good having game that comes back. Like, there's a small short period in the summer where they're gone, and then there's a small short period in the dead of winter when they're gone. But then the rest of the year they're pretty much here. Actually, in the winter they're gone for like 4 or 5 months, but the rest of the year they're pretty much here, and there's tons of them. Like right now there's like 4 or 5 of them within seeing distance right now. I'm sure once you shot one they would all take off. And they fly really fast. It's really hard shooting them on the wing. Oh, I don't have my hat on. I should be wearing my orange hat out here. Well, end of the night. Sun just went down. Definitely gonna have to get another burn on that stump. I'm gonna try to dig it out as much as I can too, and get in there with a pitchfork and try to knock all that sand loose around it. A couple more days and all these leaves will be gone. I had to figure out what chainsaw I'm going with. My chainsaw's broken, but it's gonna cost quite a bit to fix it, so I think I'm gonna buy some cheap Chinese parts and I'm gonna fix it myself for like $20 or $30. And I'm gonna buy an electric chainsaw with the money that I would have spent to fix it. So then I can add electric chainsaw to my arsenal. And the electric chainsaw is supposed to be pretty handy for all kinds of things, construction and everything. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to go with a Milwaukee to match all my gear, or if I want an Echo. The Echo's pretty cheap, and everybody says they like those that have them. I've seen some guys who actually do their firewood with an Echo, and it seems like it goes pretty good. Or I could splurge and spend a ridiculous amount of money and get a Stale or a Husqvarna, but their electric saws that are big enough for firewood are pretty expensive, like $500 or $600. So the Milwaukee one too, if I get it right now, I can get an extra leaf blower with it for free. So for the same price it costs for just the battery and the saw, they have a deal at Home Depot for a free leaf blower. And my yard is covered in leaves, so is my driveway. So I mean, I'll leave them on the yard because they'll just turn into mulch. But if I had a leaf blower, I would use it on the driveway. There's a bunny. Or a hare. He's right here somewhere. I just saw him. It's getting way too dark to film. I actually have enough internet power. I was just watching Fowler's Waterworld series. But at the Hannaford, the local shopping center, there's like an area where you can like donate some money and then take books off of the shelf. And I usually check, and I've got a lot of books over the time. Well, not a lot, but that's how many I've gotten. 1 or 2 of those books I bought, but most of those came from this take a book, leave a book type thing. But today there was all kinds of good stuff there. There was this Westways, it's Images of the American West. It's a super epic book. There's this mining guide, which will be really interesting. Life of Pi, which I just got because I figured I'd read the book and then maybe watch the movie after. But then there's all these recipe books. Some Sean Hannity stuff. I don't know, he looked pretty young, so I figured I'd look through it and see what he was talking about. Trails in the West, that should be a really epic book. But this one is like some French club, 1992-93. This is a whole book of recipes from local families. And the French club like went and collected all these recipes from people around the area, and they put it in this book. And there's like hundreds of recipes in here, and it says the name of the person at the bottom of them. So like, I got this recipe book that's like basically represents the whole community around here. It's pretty sweet. So that was a good trip to the shopping center today, although they didn't have the water I was looking for. Everything is dead out there and cold, and that poplar tree still has all of its leaves, which is crazy. So does that, not all of them, but that tree over there too, right there, back there with some leaves. That's an elm tree. So the elm and the poplar still have the leaves, but everything else has lost its leaves. And it's getting pretty chilly. It's probably like 50-degree daytime temperatures and 30 at night. So another month we'll have to put all the barrels away for the season. And it'll start snowing. Yeah, I'm just got unpacked and back from town and trying to figure out what I'm going to do with the rest of the day. Maybe I'll go out hunting for some grouse, but I don't know. Might just chill out. Tomorrow's Sunday. Alright, it's October 4th. Just doing what I do at this time of year. Cutting firewood. Still haven't completely cut up that whole piece of elm, dried one. Got pretty much everything that I took down in spring all cut up now, and pretty good stack here and the stack over there. I just ordered my first electric chainsaw. So I decided to spend $350 on an Echo 58 volt chainsaw, and it seems like it's not the best. I probably would have gone with the Stihl or Husqvarna over that, but those ones are almost double the price with a battery. So this is going to come with a battery and a charger and the saw and a 16-inch bar, and it should be big enough that I can do big cuts like this. And we're going to have to just be charging it with the solar, and if we really have to, if we're like can't wait for the solar and we need to do some cutting, maybe I'll run the generator every once in a while. It takes like an hour to charge up, so I could run the generator on eco mode. But yeah, that's coming in the next couple days. I'm excited. I'm out here for a hike. Look at that. That's I'm out here hunting this morning for grouse, but I haven't seen anything. Last night at 3 in the morning, I heard the very familiar sound of the moose trotting down the driveway. Sounds like a bunch of horses coming down the driveway. But look, these are all moose tracks. They went right up to the shed last night. I'm not sure what he was doing fucking around with the shed. But the moose turned around right here, and there's tracks right here, over here, big hole that the male dug right here, over here. I don't know, from the tracks it looks like he might have been fighting with another male. Oh no, that's not the moose. It's not the moose that did that. That was the coyote. They're out here digging for little critters. But the moose have been going crazy. And at like 3 in the morning I heard him. I had just gotten up to go to the bathroom and laid back down. And I heard the moose on the driveway, and I usually get up to go out there, but it was so cold this morning I was like, didn't want to go and see him. But it's definitely tracks from 2 males, one really, really big one, and then one small one, and then a female running around out here. So I'm sure that's what they were going after. They just love this part of my property where it's clear here. They love it. Every single night the moose are out here right now at this time of year. Pretty much at like between 2:30 and 4 o'clock in the morning is when they come through my property. But they've been out here every single night this last week. Yeah, you can see, look, he like walked right up here. See that? That's a female. Almost stepped in the fire. I'm not sure. Not sure what he was doing. It's probably a real shaky video, sorry. See that? That, I believe, is the female too. Going around in circles by the tent. I'm glad she didn't mess up the tent. See See, this is from the male kicking stuff up, I think. And there was a track here that was definitely a male track. I just can't find where it was anymore. I mean, this is a pretty good one, but that's still a female. I don't know. Can't remember where I saw it earlier, but there was like a perfect print, and it looked like the male has a different print. It looks like a female print up top, but on the bottom it'll have two like claw marks or hoof marks in the back. I can't find it, but yeah, definitely a male chasing a female out here last night. Yeah, these tracks going up this trail are really, really fresh, and look at that. Still glistening. I know, might even still be warm. That's a pretty fresh pile of turd right there. Try not to step in it. That was the male too, you can see by the tracks. But this is the next part of the property we'll be clearing out. Yeah, look at those tracks there. See this right here? There's a berm. There's a berm at the end there. There's a berm pretty much all the way around this edge, which makes it a lot safer than any other spot on the property. So we're going to cut off all these trees. We're going to cut this down, and we're going to flatten it out so we can mow back here. And this is going to be the shooting range. And there'll be a 50-yard and a 100-yard shooting range right here. It's going to be sick when it's all done. I'll put markers out and everything so you know what your yardage is. And the berm, that berm pretty much goes around more than halfway around this area, and on the other side that it's not covering, it's about 2 miles to the closest anything. 2 miles of thick, dense wood, so it should be a pretty safe place. I can't think of a safer place on the property to shoot. So this will be the range eventually. It should look really different next time after I get this all cleaned out. So I've been having problems with these damn mice in my car for the entire summer. And I've killed like over 100 mice. And the sad thing is the mice aren't even from up here at camp. They're city mice from South Portland, which is right on the water. So they're also like wharf mice. And they are just really awful. And I had even gotten to the point where I had to start poisoning them, which I hate poisoning them, but there's so many of them that I just couldn't get them with mouse traps. And right in there, under there, is a squirrel cage, and they had messed all that up. So I took the whole blower system apart, bleached it, and cleaned it all out. And they can still get in there. They haven't gotten into the squirrel cage again and past the filter because I taped it all down so they couldn't get in there. But they were still getting into this area, and they're just basically using it as a bathroom. So whenever I turn the heat on, all that blows in my face is mouse piss. That's all you smell is mouse piss, and it's not good for you. You can get hunter virus, which is a 40% kill rate on hunter virus. You think you're afraid of the coronavirus? Yeah, the hunter virus is way worse, okay? 40% of people who get hunter virus die. Not 0.004 or whatever it is for coronavirus. Coronavirus is not dangerous compared to hunter virus, okay? So, yeah, every time I drive anywhere, and like when it's cold, which is the time of the year when it's getting cold, you have to run the heat or your windows fog up. So in the morning, I have to turn the heat on, and I just have mouse shit being blown at me. So I think I found where they're getting into this area. This area is closed off other than these two spots. So I put big wads of steel wool in those spots, and then I'm going to duct tape them, and then they shouldn't be able to get in there. And then I'm going to go in there and I'm going to bleach that whole thing out again today and get it all cleaned out so there's no turds in there, and then tape it all shut, and I think I'll be able to at least keep them out of the heating system. There's a nest in the hood too. That's where they're hiding right now. They're hiding in the hood somewhere. They've made a nest in there. So that's why I just put it up. Eventually they'll stick their head out, and I'll hit them with a stick or grab them with some grippy claws. You know, I have the pellet gun. I shot a mouse last night with it, and every night I come out and usually shoot at least 1 or 2 mice with the pellet gun. But obviously, when you're using a pellet gun, you have to be really careful. You can't use it around the car because you'll shoot the window, or you'll blow the tires, or you'll bust a hose, or, you know, you can't shoot the pellet gun anywhere around the car. So when I'm dealing with them at the car, I just use a stick, which is pretty savage, but I've had to hit a couple of them with a stick already. And that's what I'm waiting for. They'll come and poke their head out. After the hood's been vertical like this for long enough, they'll come and poke their head out right here. Which I think I just saw something drop. So they're probably in there doing their thing. But as soon as they stick their head out, I'm going to hit them with a stick. But hopefully I can get this cleaned out in a way where I can start using the heat again, because it's getting really cold in the morning. I'm going to need to use the heat every day. Alright, we'll see if we can sneak up. I just pulled in from town. I just went and got groceries. But I was inside packing groceries, and I looked out the door, and there was a rough grouse, which is the target species right now. We're not going to shoot him. I made some noises to try to get him off the driveway, because one of the neighbors will stop, or any of these guys. A lot of guys hunt from their truck, so they'll stop and get out the truck and blast him. He's right here in the bush. I wanted to give you a look at him. He's a big beast. He's a beauty. I don't know where he went. He's gonna take off any second now. He'll take off. I should be close enough to him. Well, he was just right here 1 second ago. Oh, there he goes. He just flew across the street. Did you hear him? I don't know if you heard him, but he's over on the neighbor's property now. Daniel's. He's over on Daniel's place. He just flew away. Probably should have let him hang out here. Could have gotten him tomorrow morning if he moved up on the property. But if he's down by the road, he's in the clearing right at the driveway. Some of these guys up here are pretty wild. Let me just put it that way. And they'll just stop and jump out the truck and shoot right towards your cabin. Yeah, which isn't good. So if I see him at the end of the road, I scare him off into the woods. Let them live another day and keep these guys from blasting in my direction. I gotta repackage some meat so I can put it in the cooler. Just drove up to Holton, which is like an hour north. It's like a city on the border of Canada in the middle of nowhere. Like you drive through like 30 miles of straight, dense forest with nothing but a few camps here and there, and then suddenly you're in this small little city. It's pretty wild. And there's a bigger city, Presque Isle, above it even, another 30 minutes north. It's crazy because you're like in the middle of nowhere. You're driving in the middle of nowhere, and then suddenly you're somewhere. It's crazy. Transferring meat from that cooler, breaking it down into freezer bags, and putting it in this cooler. Well, I got distracted. I went to go get the camera, and I realized there was a lot of leaves piled up here that were starting to blow away. It's just another resource. So took the sled, filled it with leaves about 8 or 9 times, and brought it over here to the garden, lined the walkway here, and then as I walk next year, it'll stomp it all down and turn it into soil. But what I was getting the camera for, I was originally working on this project, and then when I went to get the camera, I got distracted by the leaves. Well, I still haven't done the second burn on that, but I was gonna make this into a tabletop, but I think I'm gonna just put a tabletop on there with 3 screws in it, holding it, so it'll be easy to remove it every year in the winter. And I'm gonna dig this one up and flatten this ground out. It's really hilly right here, probably from a skidder hauling wood out of the woods at one point. You know, you can see that it's like there's like ruts and stuff. Pretty much the whole property has ruts, but they're old from when they cut this property. But that's what I was working on. After I got back from town, I started digging it out. I started a little bit this morning before I went to town, but I pretty much got it cleared out just now. And you can see right through it. So once I cut those two, I have one more here to cut, and then this is practically a tree trunk. But once I cut that right there, that whole thing will be all free. And I'll cut a couple pieces of firewood off of that, and then we'll put the root ball in that fire pit. So when we start it up to burn that the second time, we'll burn that root ball down and get it off the property. It's coming along out here though. It's a pretty nice little side yard I've been working on all summer. Little garden spot, it's pretty nice. Fire pit. I like it, and that's another spot I'm working on. It's like a little clearing area, and there'll be a trail over there, and that trail leads to the apple tree that didn't have any apples this year. But hopefully next year we don't get a frost on June 3rd and the blossoms make it and we get a full tree of apples again. Because that first year, that was the most epic thing. I was looking forward to it so much. I can't believe that tree froze out on us this year. But just getting things done. Sun just basically went down, and I think it's time to call it a day. Go in there and cook some food. It's gonna rain tonight though, pretty crappy out. Guys are pretty crazy. I don't know, a truck went by, and I think it was the trash truck. I put the trash down there, but I might have put it down there late. They have to come back by though, so I think that they hopefully they'll stop and pick it up from the other side of the street. Look at these two little girls. This is part of the group of 4, but there's only 2 of them left. And they're really used to me now. They basically will let me walk right up to them. Oh, oh, oh. Ah. You girls know you're safe. These are spruce grouse. Grouse are in season, but not spruce grouse. Whoa. Oh. 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 Don't be a bunch of wusses. Now that I got a camera in my hand, you get scared. I literally had them right next to me a minute ago. Guess the camera kind of freaks them out. But that is a female spruce grouse. And the males are like pretty much all black. Pretty little birds. I don't know what the heck they're eating, because they just run around eating stuff, but I can't see anything on the ground, so I guess it's just grass seed or something. There aren't any ants or any bugs or anything. I'm not sure what she's eating. What are you eating? They're pretty much like yard chickens. She's pretty though. What, you getting freaked out? You're okay, girls. Pretty little girls. Alright, well, go back to what I was doing. Maybe take a couple pictures of them. Well, back at this. Going pretty good. Pretty much see around the whole root system, so it's going to be easy. Got the bow saw, 30-inch. Cutting her out. Should be free in a minute. Just dragged that out of the woods too. Gonna cut that up for firewood. Be nice to have this area all flattened out. Looking nice next year. Just like a loose tooth, she's just hanging on by a thread. But the thread is under there and I can't get the bow saw in there, so I have to go get the backhoe Laplander. It's pretty small. And I'll just cut that last piece and that thing will be free, finally. And maybe later tonight, if the wind calms down, we'll light that thing back up. These stumps are a son of a bitch when you don't have an excavator. An excavator, they just dig around it and then pull it up. Takes like 3 or 4 minutes for each one. Need to get some equipment eventually, especially if I'm going to clear more land. Eventually, I'm going to need equipment. I mean, most of the land's covered in those gray birch, which I can remove those with just a machete really easily. Cut the roots around it and then it pulls up out of the ground. So, I mean, anything that's covered in that I can clear by myself, but anything that has real trees, you really need an excavator. I gotta go get something to eat. Alright, got that thing out of here. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna knock that middle nub down a little because it's a little high. The other ones are a lot lower, so I'll knock it down to at least where those other ones are. And maybe I'll dig this one up a little and cut this one back and out a little bit, because this will probably stick out once I rake it. But then I'm going to take the rake and pull all this dirt inside the hole, even it out, take the shovel and knock the rest of this mound, there's a little mound right here, knock the rest of that down and spread it out around this whole area so it's really even here, because this was like some big mound that, I don't know, that tree, I think the mound was here and then the tree grew in it. But this mound is from like ruts from skidders from logging work back in the day on the property. So I'm glad to get that out. It's definitely a lot easier with those ones. The maples don't put down that kind of a root system. They put tons of roots out, and it's a lot harder to dig them up. Whatever that kind of tree. Still don't know what kind of tree this is. I gotta look it up. Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of tree it is, but that was one of those, and the root system on those are spread out a lot more, so it's a lot easier to cut it out, dig it up and cut it out. So yeah, pretty much done with this. This will be nice flat ground in a couple more minutes. Well, that looks pretty legit. Smooth that area enough that I can get over it with a lawnmower once grass starts growing again. Fuck you, stump. Now I just gotta burn the last of this out. I don't think that's gonna happen tonight, but maybe. Looks like some prehistoric octopus or something. I've been digging here in the desert and I just found this prehistoric octopus skeleton. That probably wouldn't make much sense, huh? Octopus probably doesn't have much of a skeleton. Yeah, I knocked a big chunk out of it, but the rest of this isn't moving. No point in whacking it anymore. I'm gonna have to just try to clear as much dirt away from it as I can, and we're gonna have to burn this one more time, and then it should be below ground level. So that's the plan. I don't have stuff to do that right now, so I'm gonna gather stuff to do that, and then maybe tonight or tomorrow we'll light this up. Oh, it's windy as shit. That's what I'm working on today. Cutting out these trees. This stand of trees is a little too thick this summer. Wasn't let enough light in. I'm gonna hopefully get this cleared up in a way where I can mow it next year. So I removed 3 or 4 trees already. Yeah, this is the 4th one. I'm just digging them up and cutting them out by the roots so they don't grow back, and then fill in the hole and smooth it out so I can mow this area next year. I'm gonna leave some for cover still, because I want this area to still be in the shade, but there were too many trees in here when it grew in this year, so I'm thinning it out a little bit and then it will be perfect. It's so windy out today. Still have the canvas tent set up and I haven't gone back there to check on it. I'm gonna have to go do that in a minute here. Pretty nice though, temperatures are still good, so I gotta be happy about that, I guess. The wind is cranking. So this has become the camp favorite. A little bit of oil and one of those pork tenderloins that are already marinated you get at the store. They go on sale for like $5 or $5.99 every couple weeks, and I'll fill the cooler with a bunch of those. I still get hamburger and the regular stuff too. But this one is the best. I eat this like a couple times a week. And the stovetop's kind of uneven, so the oil pools up over here, and then I just cut one potato up, one red potato, into french fries, and I put those in the oil that pools up on this side, and then cook the pork on this side. I brown the pork on all 4 sides, and then I cut it up into wafers like this. Absolutely the best. Such a good one-pan camp meal. This is like for sure my favorite thing I've been eating lately. Alright, I'm gonna go to eating it.